Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Thursday, as we had a bearish rejection yesterday at the previous all-time high at 64,855, but we are starting to see Ethereum move to the upside. And if we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, we are now trying to get above 65,000 Satoshis. The question is, if we get above this level and we start to close daily candles here, does that mean Ethereum is going to be showing strength against Bitcoin? Maybe potentially also rescuing some other altcoins? That's on the table today. I want to talk about this potential scenario. And then, of course, we're going to take a look at what's happening to the revolving parts, like the altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Also trying to come up and test this 200-day moving average. If we get above it, that is going to be a pretty big deal for altcoins on the weekly chart. More importantly, we have the 20-week moving average here as well. So we really want to watch that 33.4% level for the altcoins outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then we'll take a look at what's happening here with the DXY, the S&P 500, as well as other revolving parts like commodities. But I want to first just dive into what's happening here with Bitcoin, because what we're seeing right now is a potential rejection of a previous all-time high. And the reason I say that is, typically we would move straight into price discovery after breaking an all-time high. But I did mention the potential scenario for the bears that were tuned into the channel of a higher high forming. And so I'm not necessarily saying that this right now is a confirmation that this is a higher high. But what I will say is, if we are breaking any sort of support levels below the weekly open at 61,450, in my opinion, that could be the early signs that we do have a potential rejection and that we could be coming down to the previous weekly open at 54,660. So for those inside of the Discord group, we have the #1 cryptocurrency Discord trading group in the world. The link is in the description below. Adonis posted this chart about the MACD potentially signaling a bullish, pattern here for Solana against Bitcoin. And so not just the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart that we're seeing right now, potentially trying to rescue itself to see some upside, but a lot of other altcoins based on the chat are also showing the same thing. So remember, if Bitcoin consolidates and moves to the side, and we can even justify price action down to 54,660 as moving to the side, then a consolidation could allow altcoins to start moving to the upside. So I just wanted to really emphasize the potential for altcoins to maybe see some highs just like Bitcoin before a potential leg further to the upside. I think that that's certainly on the table. But at this point, with price level at this range so close to the previous all-time high, a real bearish scenario I think would be pretty tough to put on the plate right now, being the fact that we're showing strength still, with this bull cycle, and it's clear that Bitcoin has more in store. I think on the daily chart, what's important right now is the 50-day moving average is now finally crossing above this major level at 49,700. So even a downside push to here, if we start to see any sort of weakness to the $50,000 level, could still be a bullish scenario for the more midterm. So as I've been saying through this move up, the higher we go, the better the downside scenario would likely be if we start to slow down. And it's clear that we are slowing down right now. I mean, this is a bearish engulfing daily candle from yesterday. So I think that that's important to note. And then the weekly candle closes in 2 days. It's going to be interesting to see if we're just going to be seeing a wick here, or if this truly could see some continuation to the upside. Very interesting stuff happening for sure. But, as I have been emphasizing about altcoins, the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart moving above the 200-day moving average and back above this market structural support is a positive thing. We can't just take that off the plate. It looks like it wants to come test the monthly open at 69,000 Satoshi. So if that's the case, there's certainly some potential decoupling effect that could happen here with Ethereum. And as I mentioned, with the Bitcoin dominance moving to the upside, the two scenarios, it seems like the scenario of Bitcoin moving into price discovery is what wants to happen. Bitcoin dominance is testing this 200-day moving average. So let's continue to watch how strong this rally for Bitcoin dominance really is, because if we break below the 200-day moving average, that actually might buy time for altcoins to see some upside with Bitcoin. And I think that would be an even healthier way for the total market cap to still allow Bitcoin dominance to move up, but not just let altcoins kind of, stay too far behind. So, we're really going to want to monitor this Bitcoin dominance chart. If we get below 45% dominance, I think that is actually not a bad thing for altcoins, because that means that Bitcoin dominance isn't necessarily in the strongest uptrend. But if we do stay above this 200-day moving average and move further up, form new highs, that could be a different story, where Bitcoin may in fact need a little bit more time to see its price action prove itself, I guess, for altcoins to then maybe move up later. And that's all depending on Bitcoin maintaining itself above that $50,000 level. I think is really the place that we want to watch for the more macro bearish scenario, if we want to even have that on the table. I mean, we might continue into price discovery and this not be a higher high. I think that's going to be determined here in the next few days based on what we were talking about. So other than that, I do want to talk about the DXY. We are below this major level, which is actually a reason, I believe, that we're buying ourselves time to see some upside here in the cryptocurrency market, with the DXY sort of not really being too fast with its move to the upside. That's kind of what I want to watch for Bitcoin dominance. Is it going to be similar to that, where it's not going to be too violent on its way up? S&P 500 looks like it wants to form new all-time highs. We've yet to do it. So we'll monitor that. That would be a very positive thing for the cryptocurrency market when we factor in the environment outside of it. Japan's sitting at the 200-day moving average, where we have confluence with the 50-day and 100-day. I think that's better than being below the 200-day moving average. So it looks like China's starting to follow with the recovery above the 50-day moving average, but it still has a couple of roadblocks there with the 100-day and 200-day. And the Euro 100 looks like it wants to break new highs, just like the S&P 500. Gold is still calm. Oil is just kind of seeing a little bit of some resistance here at the $80, $82 level. So let's kind of watch that. I don't know if that's going to matter too much, but the gold to Bitcoin chart, very interesting that we've formed new lows beyond the April 14th lows where Bitcoin topped out. I think this is a very interesting thing to watch, because we did move above the 50-day moving average for quite some time, and now we broke down even further, showing more strength for Bitcoin against gold. So it's interesting to look at a asset like Bitcoin against a hard asset like gold, versus looking at it with the US dollar, for example, where that's very much manipulated, especially with the M2 supply. So very interesting stuff happening today. With that, thank you all for tuning in to the channel. Thank you so much, Adonis, for your amazing contributions. It's not just you, so many people in the Discord contributing every single minute, posting some very good charts, and we're starting to see some altcoins get posted here. So let's see what's happening with altcoins. It's never a bad thing to discuss the potential bullish scenario. Even if Bitcoin dominance is moving up, there could still be some room there for it not to be too violent and allow altcoins to move up further with it. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in to the Snipers channel today, as I mentioned, and until next time, Snipers out.